no tune today. I didn't have time. I was having a bath and I was thinking, I've got a day off. I'm knackered. And I thought, well, maybe everyone's knackered and they've got a little day off. Oh, who's this? Oh. Right, a little surprise for you. It's going to wriggle around. She's not going to come out here so it can... Like, oh, she's not going to... No, you wanted... There was a request of Pickle. Pickle, you little wriggler. Look. What? Yeah, it's the bollocks gang. Good girl. Good girl. Look. Pickle. That'll do, won't it? There you go. Little treat for you. Yeah, so I thought I'd do this. Also, I recorded a new episode of I've got covered in hair now. She's molting, right? She started molting, and we looked it up, and they molt to get their thicker winter coat through. So she doesn't seem to have molted before. So yeah, I'm recording the third series of Absolutely Mental with Sam Harris, and more and more it's sort of self-help and how to improve yourself and all that. And we sort of discussed that there's more anxiety around anxiety, depression, fear of a changing world and coronavirus, and people have got sort of used to staying in. I never want to go out again. But you should, and I'm grateful people are going out. My gigs have been just better than ever. They've probably sold out quicker than ever. I mean, they always sold out in a couple of minutes, but they've sold out in a couple of seconds. And I'm sort of playing bigger rooms than ever, and they're packed out, and the atmosphere is amazing. And I think that's people being so happy to be getting back to normal. So anyway, I thought I'd do this and say hello to you all, just in case you're feeling a little bit, so I didn't have time to really look at questions. I got a few immediately, but I thought I'd try and answer the frequently asked questions on Twitter. I'll start off. I've got a few here. Welsh Felix, do the audiences feel different in different locations? Do they laugh at different things? I don't think they do. Outside cultural reference, like if I'm in America, I've got to make sure who I talk about. If they might be well known here but not known in America, but I tend not to do that anyway. I don't really. When you're talking about, AIDS and famine and Hitler, that's sort of quite universal. He's evergreen, isn't he? Adolf. So outside that, everyone laughs at the same thing. Do they? You can. I try and do a local thing as well. So if you mention their city and you get it right, obviously, you get a bigger laugh of appreciation, of recognition or whatever. But no, in general, if they can speak the language I'm speaking, which is sort of English, then everyone laughs at the same thing, pretty much. The day of the week usually makes a difference, but not now, not since the pandemic. A Monday night, I did a Monday night last week, and it was like a Saturday night, and a Saturday night is off the charts. So no, People are the same. Wherever you go. I think it was that Ebony Ivory. Mr. Taco. So this is Pickle's toy. Has asked a question. So you do the math. If you were to hide from a ferocious tiger somewhere in your house, where would you hide? Asking for a friend. Got run over today, didn't you? Where doesn't Pickle go? I don't know. She goes everywhere. If you open a door, she's there. If you rattle a door, it doesn't matter what it's to, like a cold basement, she's there. She thinks, what that could be an adventure. So we put the taco in a drawer when we go to bed because she'd play with it and throw it around at night. So there's nowhere to hide except a drawer, I'm afraid. Imagine people tuning in for the first time. I'm answering the question from a stuffed taco. Grumble Stiltskin. Hey Ricky, have you filmed SuperNature yet? And realistically, roughly, how much that people have seen will make it to the final edit? I hope all of it I'll get through. So what am I doing? I'm doing about 75 minutes live. You might want to tighten it a bit. I might lose the worst bits, but not. I don't think I'd lose them because I'd be worried about causing offence. I'd lose them if you know. Often I've cut things before that I've done 2 jokes about something, so I just put the best one in or something, you know. But I'd say 99% of it will make the edit. Like last time, I cut it for time because it was too long. It was 86 minutes live, the when I recorded it, and I think I put it down to 76. So I took out 10 minutes, but I took out a whole chunk that I think wasn't the best chunk. Nothing to do with it being controversial or offensive, or you just want to keep it, you know, the best hour and a bit. Sue, question from George. He's a hamster. I think wheels are brilliant. I've heard you don't like cars and car journeys very much. Have you had a bad experience in the past in a car? Not a bad experience. I'm always scared. I was scared as a kid when I was in a car if they used to go too fast. I've always been worried because cars are dangerous. They're dangerous things. So, and growing up in the fucking 70s, the cars weren't as safe. They didn't have airbags. Sometimes didn't have seat belts. Everyone thought they could have a couple of pints. Fucking horrible. So, I've got that hangover, I guess. Now I do have a driver and he's brilliant, and I can say, go 68 miles an hour or whatever, and it's comfortable, and so I'm not. I suppose it's not being in control, isn't it? And I don't drive, so I don't know if drivers are like that. If they're in the passenger seat, if they're like, they're a little bit worried because they're not in charge. But yeah, I think that's a rational fear. Cars and motorways and bad drivers. My irrational fear is spiders. I was talking about that yesterday with Sam Harris. He was saying, "Oh, we should get you some hypnosis." I went, no. There was a thing that the London Zoo used to do, and Jane said, "Oh, you can go and meet a tarantula and they get you over your phobia." I go, "Yeah, but I've got to meet the tarantula first. If I could just meet the tarantula when I was over my phobia, that'd be fine. But we fall down at the first hurdle. You've got to meet a tarantula." No, then. No. No, I don't have to. I remember, I think I've told you this. When I was a kid, 10 or 11 or whatever, I think I was watching something like The Waltons or Little House on the Prairie, and there was one of them told an anecdote about this guy who was really strong, because when he was a teenager, there was a sort of newborn cow, and he was picking it up, and he picked it up every day, and soon he was picking up a cow because he was so strong. And I thought, what if I did that with a spider? What if I got a little spider and played with it every day, and then when it was big, I wasn't scared of it? So I got a jam jar, and I went into the garden, and I was sort of looking at the rockery around the pond, and I saw a spider. It was like about less than a centimetre, a little thing like that. I thought, that's my guy. I'll keep him in the jar, I'll play with him every day, soon he'll be a big spider, and people will go, hey, you're brave, Rick, that's a huge spider. And I go, is it? Right? That was the theory. So I got the jar, I went to get the spider, the little spider, I went to grab it, he ran up my arm, I went, ugh! Dropped the jar, smashed it, like that. I was going like that. Mum came out and went, what? I went, there's a spider. She went, a big one. I went, yeah. So that didn't work. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. What a baby. Okay. How's this going? Funniest story about your mum. I've told you that. When I sort of put a version of it in Derek. I was in the garden and my mum, and she was like 65 at the time. She was sort of doing the gardening around the pond. She had like these sort of, what are they called? You know, those ground creepers, the things that sort of grow and go into the water, and they've got little flowers on. I remember she got a little sprig of it from the Cotswolds once, and she took it back, and it looked lovely, right? And she did a thing where she lifted it up, and a frog jumped out, and she went, and she fell in the pond, right? Now, my mum wasn't scared of spiders, but she was scared of like slimy things. She was terrified of worms and leeches and all those sort of things. So she went in the pond. She was going, she was taking her clothes off, running inside because she thought she might have leeches on her. The neighbours going, there goes old Mrs. Gervais stripping again. Just a wet puddle. She ran up to the bedroom. Fucking hell. So yeah. Right. Okay. So what was it? So yeah, SuperNature. I'm filming it next month in London, and then obviously it takes ages again to translate it into all languages. Obviously, I never watch anything dubbed. I always watch it with subtitles. But they've got a dub and subtitle my stand-up 160 times, basically. And they've got to work out all the terrible things I say in every language. People keep asking me what to watch until Afterlife and SuperNature comes out. You can always watch the old stuff. You can re-watch Afterlife, both series on Netflix. Derek, Humanity. But I've got some recommendations as well for other Netflix shows you can watch. Actually, I don't know if they're Netflix. They're either Netflix, Walter Presents, which is like on the Channel 4 iPlayer thing, or Amazon or Hulu. You'll have to look that up. But the best things I've watched this year, I mean, you know the classics. You know all the classics, don't you? Sopranos, The Bridge, The Wire, all those other ones I've told you about, Gomorrah, 4 Blocks. The best things I've watched this year are When the Dust Settles. It's amazing. When the Dust Settles. The Chestnut Man was good. Really good. Baron Noir, amazing. Complicated. French, just amazing. Caliphate, fantastic. Founder, I think I've told you about that. Clem, Dutch thing, really good, really good. I think it means blood pact in Dutch, and it's like 2 little girls make a little blood pact, and then their fathers are embroiled in each other's lives, and they're very different. One's a really respectable sort of tax inspector, and one's sort of a hardened criminal coming out of jail after years, and they have to be friends because they're kids, and it's really good. So yeah, When the Dust Settles, Clem, Caliphate, 4 Blocks, Snabber Cash was brilliant, and there's 3 movies as well you can watch. Watch Snabber Cash. The series is fantastic, and different, just different. I think it means easy money, but really, really good and well plotted. And of course, Spiral as well, and the Bureau, right? Now that is an epic. If I tell you it's like an international spy thriller, I'd go, I'm not watching that. That sounds awful. It's amazing. It's brilliant. That's the thing. Doesn't really matter what it's about. If it's done well, it's brilliant. So watch that. And documentaries. Whenever we're between a series, we don't want to start a new one because we're out the next night, or I'm on tour for 3 days. We watch a documentary, like a 2-part documentary, or even a movie documentary. And we watch some great ones over there. I'll give you some classics in case you don't know about them. Hoop Dreams. That was like one of the first epic sort of documentary sagas. It's about a young kid who becomes a sort of top basketball player from early days. I don't know how lucky they were. They must have filmed 10, and his story was amazing. Unforgivable Blackness. It's about the first black heavyweight, Jack Johnson, and the risks he took at the time because of racism in America. Just brilliant. Obviously, you know When We Were Kings. That's pretty cool. The Jinx, phenomenal. Just amazing what they got. And I think one of my favourite documentaries of all time, which I've watched twice already, and I'll watch again, is the 7-5, the 75th precinct. It's about a guy who's a policeman, a genuine policeman, does a great job until he joins the mafia. So those are my recommendations, and there's lots of modern ones as well. I love the Michael Jordan one. What's the one about what's the Dr. Dre one about when he becomes a billionaire with his headphones? What's that called? That was brilliant as well. So yeah, watch one of those. Look it up, right? Look up one of those programs now. Well, when I say goodbye, why don't you try and find the 7.5 if you haven't, and snab a cash. I'm giving you homework. Beats. That was it. Thank you. Yeah, that was brilliant. Well, you've seen that. So, what else? What have we done? Oh yeah, get absolutely mental if you can. Everyone who's bought it has really got into it, and there's like 21 episodes so far, about 40-50 minutes. I think you can get. I think we're doing both episodes for maybe $20, are we? So is that right? I can't remember. Maybe 25. Anyway, it works out at like £1 an hour. That's not bad, is it? I'm so tired. I've had a bubble bath, so I've been on tour. I'm fat. I'm old. Tiredness. It makes you feel ill, doesn't it? When you're stressed and old, and drunk. I think I've run out of things. Be nice to animals. I think more and more now, people are outraged by real things, animal cruelty, not just jokes. They're not real. Jokes aren't real. Like, you don't do that and they don't hurt you. If you do that with a joke, it doesn't hurt you. Whereas if you do that with animal cruelty, the animal's still being tortured. So yeah, and people are realising now that animal experiments are fucking horrible. It's not just bunnies like being tried different carrots. They fucking torture them. They put corrosion. I don't want to go through it. It's like some of the experiments are not only pointless because they don't fucking work, but they're like something from Saw. They're horrible, and they don't work. And they get funding because it's a big con that they keep going, well, we might find a cure for this, or they've never done it. They have to test them on it. Everything we've discovered despite animal testing, not because of it. 93% of all experiments that work on animals, like they give it cancer and cure it, fails in humans and is often dangerous. So it just, because they're different. Eventually you have to try it on a human. And the animal experimentation becomes irrelevant. It's just a money-making thing, where they get $2,000 for each beagle that they fucking torture to death. I don't know how it can still be happening. It's money, isn't it? Everything comes down to money and power and corruption. Yeah, keep being mouthy about that. That's real stuff. That's an actual thing being murdered. Got serious again, didn't I? Well, that'll do, won't it? We've had a good time, haven't we? Told you about me being scared of spiders, my mum falling in a pond. Some recommendations there, not just my stuff. So, thanks for following. Thanks for retweeting things. Watch Derek, Humanity and Afterlife again. Soon, the new series will be out, and SuperNature will be out. And then I want to start again. If I'm not too fat and old and tired. Cheers, and you saw pickle. So, have a lovely evening. watch one of those recommendations, be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.